AOC was on Jen Psaki, and what did I tell you guys? I told you guys I love getting a show. I told you guys like 2 weeks ago, watch out for the Jen Psaki show. This shit is about to be propaganda on the next level. Next level propaganda. And they're going to be just like Morning Joe. And I told you guys, there's value for me watching Morning Joe because when you watch those establishment shows, it's almost like they're the puppet, they're like the mouthpiece of the empire. So what they say about the Ukraine war, what the establishment say about the Ukraine war, what the establishment want you to think about economics is what they're saying about economics. That is what Jen Psaki show is. And AOC was on there, and we did a review of David Sirot's interview with AOC, and she was extremely uncomfortable, even with someone as milquetoast as David Sirota. But bro, when she was talking to Jen Psaki, she was in her fucking element. She was so happy. You guys remember the David Sirota interview? And she was looking around. I don't know. She was not the same person at all. Like even David Sirota's not really hard questions were making her extremely uncomfortable. Meanwhile, she does interviews with Rachel Maddow, MSNBC. She's like she's right at home.
She does look very, very comfortable. And like to your point, because a lot of the clips we're gonna be playing, it's in different spots, and it's like, how the hell did that happen? It's because when you have a movie producer, a Hollywood producer making this production for this state TV program, this is how it comes out. They're trying to appeal to the people that would watch The View. That's who they're appealing to. They're trying to appeal to that middle America where they want to see people kind of with a movie style backdrop as they are talking. It appeals to them. It draws them in emotionally. Go ahead.
So the David Sirota interview was a disaster for AOC.
Yeah, definitely.
Even David Sirota's own fans calling her out. If you guys want to check out the full story, we have a clip that literally released in the last week where we covered AOC's interview with David Sirota in the background because she went on there and just told lies that even the people that we criticized couldn't take. Like we criticized the Jacobin PMC left, but Jacobin wrote an article because it was like, damn man, we can't go that far with you. We can't fuck with you that much. Some people are Ryan Grimm is going down with the ship, but some people not. So Jacobin, David Sirota, his entire fan base turned on her because her performance was so horrible. So that's why she avoids independent media. Because even someone like David Sirota can accidentally expose her. Like Bernie Sanders is afraid of Cal Kalinske. Can you guys imagine if RBN or any of our allies got our hands on AOC for 10 minutes? So she ran back to corporate media where she's been having a great time, having conversations with Mehdi Hassan. After Biden gave a State of the Union address, guess who they called to go on Rachel Maddow replacement show? No, it wasn't replacement. I'm getting it wrong. That was actually Rachel Maddow. They called her in because it was one of the big shows. So they called Rachel Maddow, who doesn't work for a time, one of the few people who actually has an audience in cable news. AOC, you go there and tell everyone how great Joe Biden has been. And that is exactly what she's done. And the same with this interview, you see she's just buzzing with energy. Look at how AOC is extremely comfortable in an environment where me and CJ would definitely be uncomfortable in.
And the thing is, Nick, let me say this about Jen Psaki, because when we recognize a serious problem or threat, we have to say it, and Jen Psaki is that.
Yeah,
she's being propped up as to be the next person that everybody watches, progressive, fresh face person. She is that person, Nick. If you notice, if you watch Morning Joe, they keep putting her in there because they're trying to make her visible, make sure you're going to watch her show. They're grooming her. And how is she getting people like John Kerry and AOC like regularly? Like, just, I'm telling you, this is the person they're trying to craft and cultivate an audience for her, because she's the one that's going to be the face that they're trying to push some more nonsense.
Yeah, she funded the government, so she got all the contacts in government. Her first show was with Eric Holder. We got Eric Holder exclusive. Like, if you want to analyze propaganda, you want to see what the establishment is saying, that is the show to watch. And we already featured her before, and trust me, we're gonna be featuring her a lot because you see some crazy ass shit coming out of her show already. Like this one, I'm gonna show you guys a fuller interview, but this is the clip that's going viral because AOC and Jen Psaki is here, and they are just having a shit live-a-thon. here. They're just shit living it up. We're gonna get to a longer clip. Like, man, AOC is so
living it up.
Yeah, you're gonna see some shit here. You're gonna see some shit living nonsense here. So I want to leave with this because we're not gonna watch the whole interview, but I want to make sure we definitely cover this part. I have another part of the interview I think a lot of people miss because
this is related to another one.
Like they sitting down here and chatting, but Jen Psaki was so happy to meet AOC, and AOC so happy on the propaganda network. You had AOC, they're like, let's go on the walk too. Like we can't just do a sit down interview. We gotta go on a walk too. So there's two parts to this. So we don't watch this part because this part is the most interesting. And this is not interview full, nothing red blue nonsense, right? So look at what they say here. Look at what AOC and them say.
Federal regulation in terms of what's allowed on air and what isn't. And when you look at what Tucker Carlson and some of these other folks on Fox do, it is very, very clearly incitement of violence. Very clearly incitement of violence. And that is the line that I think we have to be willing to
Can you pause with. That?
Yeah, so
can you go back to that? Can you go back to that shot of the water? And I mean, look at her hair. Isn't this a daytime show? Can you go back to where you can see both of them in the shot with the water?
Yeah. I'm gonna let play mute it.
For sure. It's crazy because this is so movie producered up, like I was telling you, and I didn't even see like the white shot as much in the clip. The other clip, I didn't see this clip. This is crazy. That is like you would see that shot like on a movie. Like you would see that shot, and this is a daytime show that's on a cable news network. This is not even on primetime TV like an NBC or an ABC. I'm telling you, Jen Psaki is here to be the one that's trying to sell whatever, the top person that's trying to sell something. This person here.
This is like, bro, we tell you guys all the time, man. Me and CJ, we watch this shit and laugh. The propaganda is so aggressive. I'm literally just laughing. It's so aggressive. So now let's actually analyze the crazy shit they just said. I'll play the video again because it's only a 23-second clip.
Yeah, it's
let's watch
short.
This shit again and look at and listen to this unhinged fascist right here on the left. Listen to this person. I'm explaining here soon. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I'll unmute it. Here we go.
Federal regulation in terms of what's allowed on air and what isn't. And when you look at what Tucker Carlson and some of these other folks on Fox do, it is very, very clearly incitement of violence. Very clearly incitement of violence. And that is the line that I think we have to be willing to contend with.
Can you before you go, Nick? Because I actually have a slightly longer version of this same clip, and I want to play the full thing before we both comment. And it's not going to add, it's not going to add context to what AOC says. It's just going to tell you what Jen says. So this is the same clip.
That's fine. We watched this one. Yeah, go ahead. That's fine.
Yeah, we just saw the second half, and let's listen to what Jen says here.
And do you think media organizations or social media platforms should be accountable for the role for being platforms for incitement?
I believe that when
I'm telling you, Nick, and I was going to say this after the clip, and we can stop here. I just wanted you to hear Jen's part. We already heard AOC's part.
Because you can see the context.
Yeah. Oh, let me let it finish then. Let me let it finish. My bad. Let me let it finish the whole way. It's only 40 seconds.
And do you think media organizations or social media platforms should be accountable for the role for being platforms for incitement?
I believe that when it comes to broadcast television like Fox News, these are subject to federal law, federal regulation in terms of what's allowed on air and what isn't. And when you look at what Tucker Carlson and some of these other folks on Fox do, it is very, very clearly incitement of violence.
I told you guys
incitement of violence.
I told you, man. Bro, AOC did not go on Jen Psaki's show to burn down the house. She went there to shit lib it up. She didn't even use a left criticism of Fox News. She used the same line that we hear from Morning Joe all the time. Fox News is inciting violence. What does that mean? I'm asking you because this is something that's pouring the hammer on me because apparently the DSA deeply unserious, truly dumb left is falling for this. What does it mean to incite violence? You want to know what inciting violence? Inciting violence is calling for war. You got liberals that constantly call for the death of Russians all the time. You have liberals that call for war with China because of Taiwan. How is calling for war not inciting violence? How is not calling for more police funding not inciting violence? You guys incite violence all the time through your pro-war politics.
Nick, but meanwhile, liberals, you going right to the same place I'm going. Go ahead.
I know you want to chime in, but AOC, I'm asking you guys this question. What does it mean to incite violence? Because at the risk of getting in trouble here, when I expose corruption, I kind of want you guys to do something about it. AOC, when you say eat the rich, are you inciting violence? Are you inciting violence when you say eat the rich? When I expose to you massive corruption, that's because I want the person involved in corruption to go in prison. I want something to happen to them. So are we inciting violence on a politician when we call it the corruption? Because it's what AOC says. People are inciting violence on me because they're criticizing me. Jimmy Dore is doing violence against me. You guys see, this is the new professional managerial class favorite term. Wonder how long it took them to beta test this. Wonder how many focus groups they ran this one through, CJ. Whenever they criticize, they're inciting violence. No one is more violent than the modern liberal who trying to start World War III with China over Taiwan. These people, Facebook literally lifted a rule where you can now say that Russians deserve to die. You can call for the deaths of Russian deaths, but Tucker Carlson and Fox is inciting violence? I'm not saying they're not, but based on your vague terms, you all are.
And the NATO left, Nick, the boutique left, they're going to be all over this. AOC takes down Tucker Carlson. Yep. AOC calls out you, and this is how this is the propaganda that the independent media do. Strike breaking is crickets. No content. Strike breaking.
Yep.
Oh, NATO, she does this. Oh, she calls out Tucker Carlson. Now he's gone. All over PMC media. Watch how it is. And this is the trade-off, Nick. NATO left look at this as a win, such a big win, that they're willing to trade off them AOC voting to break a strike. You see how they're not for the working class?
Yeah.
They're hey, watch the videos they make and how they're gonna be like Tucker and this and that. It's gonna be insane clown shit. But they're willing to accept AOC's faults of doing what she did to the working class if she gives them these little like culture warrior sort of ways to go. Yeah, she dunked on them or whatever phrase they use. Go ahead.
And AOC is so dangerous because this is a right-wing count and everyone would tweet this out. Look what they say. AOC calls on the government to ban Tucker Carlson and other Fox News hosts. And then if you go down the comments, remember, this is a right-wing feed. You had a lot of people that saying, "Oh, this is look, here it is. Here's one of many of them." She went from champagne socialist to downright communist.
What?
And right wingers also say this is why. Look at this unhinged ideology by AOC that we do not agree with. And then you got people say, "Oh my God, this is why the left is against the First Amendment."
Right. They call this woke. Look. They call this wokeism right here. This is wokeism.
Look, this guy said she speaks like a true communist. Even though a true communist will never, ever give the state-ran capitalist powers to censor. Why the fuck will we give capitalists the ability to dictate what is acceptable speech? That is beyond absurd. But the reason why I'm showing you guys this, sorry, CJ.
No, go ahead.
But the reason why is because this is why liberals love AOC. She is the left representative, and she makes the quote-unquote left position look horrible. Horrible. So right-wingers and the general populace looks at AOC, who is more unpopular than Nancy Pelosi, and say, this is what a socialist and this is what a communist looks like.
Right.
You guys see the problem? You guys see why we lead the way in Chris calling out AOC? And the people who don't, you're punting the ball. Because now people associate her fascist garbage, for pro-war Ukrainian garbage. I see right-wingers who don't know of RBN all the time. They always say, oh my God, the left-wingers and their obsession with war. You guys hear that? Yeah. Because they see AOC and Bernie supporting war, so they think that's the left-wing position now. So it's upon us. That's why whenever I go on like Jimmy, Glenn, or anyone else show, right-wingers like, God damn, RBN based. I didn't know there was lefties like that. I already got the feedback from being on the right, like people to the right, and it's because Jimmy and Glenn, they cultivate a wide audience, right? They got a wide audience of people. So the people on the right wing, on Glenn, I was talking to Glenn afterwards. He was like, dude, a lot of the right wingers like, dude, I'm a fucking open black communist, and they're like, man, I never heard this position before, because people like AOC psyop those positions and make us look bad. So it's our job to call these frauds out.
Bernie included. Bernie is part of this bunch that psyops what it means to be socialist. He's actually the one that got the ball rolling, and just AOC is doing a better job at it. Yeah. But what is this? Oh, here's another. Wow! So I didn't see this one. I didn't see.
Yeah, this is what I can't wait. CJ, I can't wait to see it because that is the viral clip. That clip is going viral on Twitter with her calling for government censorship. Because people are inciting violence, whatever that means. Whatever that means. I will make the argument that every single corporate media entity is involved in that. That's how you know AOC is doing propaganda, which you said only Fox News that is doing that. Anyone who's pro-war is inciting violence, as far as I'm concerned, right? So that clip went viral, and I feel like more people need to see this one. Because CJ, let me tell you, when I was watching this one, I had to stop it quite a few times. I had to stop it and take breaks. Like, God damn, this shit is crazy. Let's see how this is impossible. Challenge level impossible. Sitting through this video. Not even
wait, let's try it. Let's try it. Okay, I'm gonna try it. Wait, how long is it? How long is it?
So this came out literally today.
No, I mean, is it 1 minute? Is 1 minute long?
It's only like 8 minutes, not a long segment.
Okay, let's. Oh yeah, I don't know if I can get to 8 minutes.
I'm gonna stop. There's a few places I'm gonna stop because there's a points that have to be made. But this AOC is so comfortable on MSNBC compared to independent news. They were doing a sit-down interview. They're like, "Oh, come on, let's go on a walk too. Let's change the setting. We homegirls here." And look how much Jen Psaki feels unthreatened by AOC. Look at how much she loves AOC. And I want you to ask yourself as I play this video. Would they do a segment like this with someone like Malcolm X?
No.
With O'Malley from the Uhuru Black Protest movement?
Walking along the water. And can I get this shit out of here, man? Let's talk about some real shit.
And I use an extreme example, right? Like O'Malley from the Black Uhuru Socialist movement who was just charged by the guy. Can you imagine him doing an interview strolling along the beach with his war criminal? No way. Anyway, let's watch. I think I hyped it enough. Let's watch it.
Project and why it was so important to you to fund.
Absolutely. Well, I really think that this represents our climate policy at work, which is our whole approach to climate policy is that you don't have to trade off jobs, the environment, and really good, just outcomes for communities. So
my approach to climate policy is that you don't have to trade off your pro-war ambitions. Yeah, I know that carbon emissions for the Ukraine war is off the charts, but based on my ideology, you don't have to trade climate activism with being pro-war. That's not a sacrifice I believe you have to make.
So Nick,
go ahead, CJ.
Like this is a fun part. But this is also funny and serious because AOC, and we saw it, you and I called it the night of the State of the Union. AOC has literally, I think we can say publicly, has accepted the role of establishment left and going out to shield. She has accepted that role. Think about what she's saying. She is trying to sell young followers, young socialists, young people that you don't have to give up policy in order, like you can accept imperialism and still be left. That's what she's essentially trying to sell. She's trying to sell capitalism and imperialism as something acceptable, and you can still be called a socialist. That's what she's trying to sell.
Yes, and also AOC, Bernie, and the squad are committing a massive sin that was otherwise considered unacceptable back in the Sunrise Day before they sold out. AOC, and you watch this part of the video, became the biggest incrementalist in Washington, one of the biggest advocates of incrementalism. What happened to you either listen to the science or not regarding climate? Now they're like, yeah, I know we got the Willow Project. Yeah, I know we spend the military budget by funding some bullshit project that's not going to change anything. Be happy about it. This climate incrementalism is garbage. It's garbage. You're either doing the right thing, you're either waging class warfare on the people accountable for it, or you're not. AOC is not. AOC is voting with the military industrial complex. You guys understand? There's no more of this bullshit, but they do it all the time. And Jim Psaki gonna be giggling along because they know they all part of the scheme together. I'll play the part from the beginning. We let it play because a lot of this is fluff. I don't think that we got to stop it all the time, but there is some parts that is gonna be. Feel free to interrupt anytime, CJ. But there's gonna be some parts that's gonna be hard to get through. This part, the first part, is just bullshit fluff. AOC pretending that she's a champion of the climate, but trust me, they're gonna shift after this conversation to something that we get to more substance to show how she is 100% complicit with state media. So let's go into it.
What we're doing here is that we have acquired federal funds to construct a training facility so people can learn the skills necessary to build the underwater pylons that offshore wind turbines go on top of. These are really good, high-paying, very often union jobs, and we're doing it at a public college, SUNY Maritime, in the Bronx, so that the communities that have been most impacted by the front lines and injustices of
you
the
just push
climate
incrementalism now.
crisis
I fund the war, and that's okay because I'm
that.
doing this
And so we're
useless
really
bullshit
excited
project
about
that's not
this.
going to
This is going to
matter.
create so many jobs for folks in our community at high dignified pay.
And when this project is all done, still a little work to go, what is it going to be doing exactly?
It's going to be, some of these facilities, for example, are like deep pools, and people will be putting on scuba equipment in order to figure out how you construct pylons underwater.
I must say this is very unusual. This is a very unusual dynamic that you don't see in interviews. They're willing to be outside where the sound is not controllable. You're hearing, and she's not even really discussing a point where she needs to be seen outside. Like this is like what she's saying, and then this backdrop is to sell the point of what she's saying. Like they're really doing. Look, don't you see a crane in the back? Don't you see a crane? So what I'm saying, this is stuff moving. Think wheels are turning. That's what she's trying to sell.
This is such PMC garbage. Look at AOC like, oh my god, look at this organization I put my name on. Because she look at those in the interview. She keeps saying we doing this, we doing this. AOC, you're not doing shit. What the fuck are you talking about? AOC, you put your name on some work other people are doing. She's talking about we doing this. What the fuck are you talking about? This is PLC shit. AOC put her name on it. She may approve this as a congressperson, and then she come out and interview like, oh my god, look at what I did. Look at my project. Look at my project I'm working on, guys. Look at my professional managerial class project that's going to help the climate agenda, even though I'm funding the military industrial complex. Even though I'm complicit with a climate disaster, I'm going to do the project, and you're going to praise me because I'm on top of my field and my PMC project. This is nonsense, and as workers, this should make your skin crawl. But PMCs watch this shit. The Sam Cedar, the TRT watch this shit. They're like, slay, girl, boss. Slay, queen. Look, we got two queens. We got two queens on the screen. Oh my god, look how great the suits are. That's what the PMCs are saying. Meanwhile, the workers, we are rolling our eyes at this shit. Watch, it gets even more cringe. I tell you, the beginning is more filler than the part when it gets to. Like, it gets extremely cringe, especially when they change the subject here.
Able to partner with apprenticeships and union programs so that when the funding comes in through whether it's the Inflation Reduction Act or other types of federal funding to construct offshore wind turbines, these folks are going to be the first in line to get those jobs.
You're still a part of a new generation of
now,
leaders in Congress.
Like, this is the part. Look at the scenery change. Look, they was in the office at first, sitting down like we hanging out, coffee talk. Then we're gonna show you this project. Now we hitting the streets. We walking the streets like ordinary people.
You know how unnatural this is. Not an unnatural comment. Who does that, Nick? You and I, like you and Ron was there. You and Ron was in your room, y'all talking, and he says, "Pause." Y'all go outside and pick up the conversation there. Who does that? That's what you have to do in order for this to make sense. But go ahead.
I'll tell you, man, Jen Psaki, bro, she about had the highest productive propaganda out here. It's gonna be very hilarious to watch. So I'm gonna play this part again because this is when the interview gets hilariously cringe. Because Jen Psaki in this interview, you're gonna watch this dynamic where Jen Psaki is trying to do propaganda for AOC. So everyone on the left know AOC is a fraud. So Jen Psaki keep doing stuff like, how does it feel to be a radical congressperson? How does it feel to be? Oh, I spoiled it. You guys see, you guys see, Jen Psaki is doing a job for AOC too in this segment. Watch, you see what I'm talking about.
He's been there now for a couple of years.
Right,
first in line to get those jobs.
You're still a part of a new generation of leaders in Congress. Mm-hmm. You've been there now for a couple of years. Who gives you hope in the Democratic Party as you look around at fellow members or other leaders around the country?
Considering the situation we are in right now, we all know the left is obliterated. She's like, you're in the office for a few years. What gives you hope? And let's see how connected this answer is with you guys. And leave a chat. How connected this answer is going to be with your life? Let's listen.
I am so excited and energized by the evolution of grassroots and community organizations and the extent of their involvement. Historically in Washington, it's been a lot of very established institutions and advocacy organizations that have had a seat at the table. But now we're seeing this explosion in grassroots organizing that is starting to cross the threshold into real influence in policy making. And
do you guys see why AOC is so dangerous? She's not the best. You guys see why AOC is so goddamn dangerous? Here's the toxic positivity. First, she injects toxic positivity, and then she brings up bullshit on how grassroots organization has effects on policy. On Jim Crow Joe, far-right policy. He's sending more money to the police. ICE is being spending more. We're on the cusp of World War III. He's literally privatizing Medicaid. But AOC is telling you that in the Democratic Party, grassroots organization has power. You guys see the problem of AOC? She's here to give you guys false hope that grassroots organizers has power within the Democratic Party. This is
and that's how you
go ahead, CJ.
This is very, very dangerous. And this is why to those people that here and there, it's not a lot. Why are you always talking about this is so dangerous? Imagine if nobody comes out and says this is all lies, you're making this up. She's literally, this is fantasy land that they're talking about. This is not even real. And I think they know it. They know it. It's just that they're trying to convince other people that what they're talking about is real and actual. Go ahead.
CJ, it gets worse. This is the point in the interview where I really had to I paused this shit so many times at this point because I'm going to repeat it. I'm going to play this part again because I want you guys to realize AOC and Bernie, like we said long time ago, their job, they are the youth wing of the Democratic Party. Their job is to recruit young people to this fascist, capitalist, imperialist party that does not have their interest. So AOC and Bernie is here to pretend that everything's going okay. Let's continue this strategy, even though we know it's failing. And Jen Psaki is here to help her. That's why she came with that question, which you should. Anyway, let's let it play.
Institutions and advocacy organizations.
I want to start from the beginning. I'm gonna let it play some more because the answer gets more ridiculous, CJ, whether you believe it or not. Because there's a particular part I can't wait to get to. Wait.
Involvement. So excited and energized.
As you look around at fellow members or other leaders around the country.
I am so excited and energized by the evolution of grassroots and community organizations.
And then wait till you see what organization she's talking about. Just wait.
And the extent of their involvement. Historically in Washington, it's been a lot of very established institutions and advocacy organizations that have had a seat at the table. But now we're seeing this explosion in grassroots organizing that is starting to cross the threshold into real influence in policymaking. And that, to me, is beyond inspiring.
Is there an organization or a new colleague or someone people should know about that you're excited about?
Yeah, I mean,
so this is the point where Jim was like, wait, what left group are you talking about that has policy? So just like it probably legitimately like, what are you talking about? And then she's like, oh, I didn't know she was gonna ask me. Look at who she comes up with.
I think groups like Sunrise and many others are
Sunrise.
The sellout group Sunrise. Oh my God.
The Sunrise movement, one of the biggest sellout organizations. That's her answer. What gives you hope, AOC? What organizations and movements? She didn't mention Tour for the Poor. She didn't mention any mutual aid organizations. She's not talking about any socialist or communist groups. She said fucking Sunrise movement.
So basically, she's acknowledging the quote-unquote grassroots organizations are organizations that bent the knee to Joe Biden and continue to bend the knee, even though he keeps breaking promises directly made to them. That's the people who they're fine with saying, now you have a seat at the table that we don't listen to. What does that do, Nick? Hey, you're at the kid's seat where nobody listens to, but you're at a seat. So that makes you feel, like you're part of something. And that's all of what DSA people want. They want to be at the kid's seat. At least they're in the building. At least they're at the banquet is how they look at it, even though they're at the kid's seat. Go ahead.
So let's translate what she's really saying here. We can do it either way. But this is what she's really saying. I'm so thankful that there's a sellout organization like the Sunrise Movement that would never call me out. That would give me hope, Jen. It gives me hope that there are kids out here that still don't see through my bullshit. There's a group that will endorse Joe Biden, even though Joe Biden said he was gonna frack, and they'll still endorse him. So proud of those kids. They sold out just like me. That gives me hope. That's what she's really saying. Anyway, let's continue. Believe it or not, CJ, it gets worse because there's still a certain part I'm waiting for. It gets worse. There's a certain part of the video where I'm like, yep, that's a low. That's the low right there. We're not there yet.
So exciting. In terms of my colleagues, this new freshman class is phenomenal. I have the honor of being the vice ranking chair under Jimmy Raskin for the Oversight Committee. And we just have amazing freshmen in our class, from Becca Ballant, who's the first woman to be elected in the state of Vermont, Maxwell Frost.
Maxwell Frost is terrible. He's terrible.
Who did you just say, AOC?
The Palestinian sellout. It's the guy who sell out Palestinians. That
you
guy.
mean the guy who voted against lifting Syrian sanctions? Hold up. It's almost like AOC is here to do propaganda for the biggest sellouts among us. So AOC, who gives no left activist shout outs, she gives shout out to Maxwell fucking Frost. If you guys don't know who Maxwell Frost is, we did a few segments on him. He's the guy who infiltrated Palestinian groups, told them that he doesn't support the two-state solution. He told them they support BDS in order to get their emails. He took fundraise money from Palestinian groups. And then the second he won the Democratic Party nomination, he told all of them to lose his number. Straight up ghosted every single left organization that he knew. And then he went to Congress and turned into an outright neocon. He was called out recently for his support of the Ukraine war. War salad, we covered that. He voted against lifting Syrian sanctions. This guy started out I said Jamal Bowman was the biggest sellout. Maxwell Frost is the number one MVP, Michael Jordan of progressive sellout.
Quickest one. It's like getting drafted out of high school. That's him. He got drafted out of high school, and he is absolutely terrible.
He's bad. Terrible. Even the Jacobin left called him out. The Jacobin left wrote the articles like, "Yo, what's up with Maxwell Frost and his connection with Palestinian groups?" We heard they can't so even they was like, "Dude, this dude kind of trash." Meanwhile, AOC says people like Maxwell Frost gives her hope. What does that say? She sees everything Maxwell Frost is doing, and she's like, "You're killing it, fam."
I wish I was like that in the beginning.
Oh my God, man! I wish I didn't give a fuck like you. Like when I first started, I had some shame. I felt like my shame is gone now, but it took me a long time to lose it. But man, the way you had no shame, the way you sold out the Palestinians with no shame.
Jamal Bowman is all mad. He was like, "I thought I had the crown. I thought I was trying to sell out the fastest, and look at you, Maxwell."
So I'll let a lot more of this play because I got to a lot of the main part. But the rest of the interview is fascinating because you see AOC's like she fully embraced her position as just a fucking Democrat shit lib. Like this is why I said they up here just shit living it up. Because now they're gonna go to rapid fire, red blue shit lib nonsense.
First Gen Z member of Congress. We have folks like Greg Casar and Summer Lee that really represent communities that are from steel production in Pittsburgh and all of these amazing communities, but they're bringing a vibrancy and showing that the kind of representation that we didn't even think was possible in some places actually is. And so that's
you see AOC, man, she's the Zach fucking person right wingers mock when they talk about woke ideology. The thing that RBN we push back on all the time because we don't fall into that nonsense. But that's AOC. She's a fucking imperialist. But she's like, you want to know what's giving me hope? They're imperialists like Maxwell Frost shit living it up too. We got representation. That's what she's talking about, guys. Maxwell Frost is horrible, but she's happy because he's the first Gen Z member of Congress. He's like, yeah, I'm so happy Gen Z got the first neocon. Dude, this is who they talk about when they talk about woke politics. And we hate when they do it, but we know they're talking about AOC, and she legitimized a lot of their arguments because those arguments don't hold up on us, right? But hold up when you talk about AOC. AOC is a woke imperialist. She is.
Yeah, she is.
That's why
they wouldn't be able to say. They wouldn't be able to the word and the concept would never have any wings if they didn't have people that actually it applies to, and she's one of them.
Yeah,
she's literally one of them. I think I spelled it right. Shit living it up. I think I spelled it right. But go ahead with the video.
So CJ, there's only 5 minutes left. I don't think I had to interrupt that much.
If you guys, just keep going. I'm good.
But at this point, because I feel like the rest of this segment, because I think I talked a lot during this. I feel like the rest of this segment really speaks for itself. Like I really think you guys will watch this segment. You guys see exactly what the fuck AOC is doing now. So I'm gonna let it play some bit. Feel free to interrupt though if you want to, CJ.
To me is really inspiring.
So you're in the minority in Congress for the first time since you were elected.
This part is hilarious
it seems like you're kind of having fun being a bit of an agitator.
She's an agitator. You see how Psaki is doing propaganda for AOC? I lied. I'm definitely probably gonna interrupt this. But you guys see, Psaki's like, man, AOC, you kind of crazy. You're a radical. I know you're kind of crazy. You're a radical. AOC like, a little bit.
You're an agitator. But you see the dynamic. But you see the dynamic that both of them, these Washington swamp monsters, know that I can really be an agitator when my party's not in power.
Yes,
you see that? It's something that both understand, and they're both laughing. Yeah, that's when you see them put forth bills. You see that? Oh, why didn't you draft this bill, Bernie? When you had the House, Bernie? Why you didn't do that, Pramila Jayapal? She did something. You know, Ro Khanna did like 2 bills already.
Remember, Bernie
doing all these things.
To your point, sorry to interrupt, but to your point, remember, Bernie didn't put up the Yemen resolution when Democrats had the full majority in Congress. He waited till after Biden lost the majority. I'm saying, like, now we care about ending the war in Yemen.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't want to put it up when Democrats were in charge, because that means Biden would have been forced to veto the bill like Trump did. So he didn't want to make Biden look bad, so he waited till he's in the minority. Now, this is very damning on AOC. We covered this story a few weeks ago, CJ. Remember where they just admitted it? I'm like, dude, you guys just said it. AOC just admitted. She said in an interview, she said, there's a lot of ways where I actually like being a minority versus being a majority. Because in a minority, you're in a position where you can do a lot more of the political stuff than you are in the majority. I'm like, she literally just told it. She's so confident that her fans in the PMC left is not going to turn on her. She just straight up said in a minority, she does shit she won't do in a majority because she got a lot of pressure from the party. Because she even said she's like, when in majority, there's a lot of pressure. The Washington work is weird. Like, she's trying to weasel away, but she just straight up admit she's a clown who performs only when nothing's going to happen. But listen to this shit, because this shit actually is another part of the interview I remember as being significant. So I'll rewind that let play a little bit, much as I can tolerate, at least.
So you're in the minority in Congress for the first time since you were elected. Mm-hmm. It seems like you're kind of having fun, being a bit of an agitator. Are you enjoying that?
No, you know me, I'm a little bad.
Holding those in power accountable.
Hold them accountable.
Fundamental part of our role, and it's a part of a role that I draw on from my history in advocacy and organizing and activism. But it's also one where we can propose solutions while we're also holding people accountable for the decisions that they're making. And so, yeah, I think it's been an important role.
How has she held Joe Biden accountable for funding the border industrial complex more? Record amounts than compared to Donald Trump. Real question. How has she held Biden accountable for the Willow Project? Anyway, I think you guys are smart enough. I'll let it play. I think you guys.
And you know what? Something else is just realized in this. That is a red carpet, sir. That they put that long of a red carpet down that street. Where's that street red? Are you serious? There's no way. Is that just painted? That whole sidewalk painted red? They could not have put a red carpet down that whole thing. I gotta be wrong. I gotta be wrong.
That's stuff more than me, so that's definitely not an accident. Hold on,
and they cleared out that whole street. You notice no person has walked by or nothing like that. You noticed that, right?
This motherfuckers. Anyway,
go ahead.
This shit's hard to get through, but
this is Hollywood, right here.
Ridiculous. I think you guys are smart to catch it at this point. Because look at this.
Also, holding people accountable for the decisions that they're making, and so yeah, I think it's been an important role for us to play.
So you're also a pretty politically astute observer. There is a presidential race that's happening right now. Donald Trump, people think, some say, is the easiest person for Joe Biden to run against. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that?
Well,
the easiest potential Republican nominee, I should say.
I think there's something to be said about that. The dynamics of these races change from day to day. I think that Governor DeSantis has made some very large critical errors, and I think he's weaker than...
What are his biggest errors, do you think, as you've watched?
Well, you can't out-Trump Trump, right? And that's what he's really been trying to do. His attacks...
you're right. I don't have to pause it here because
LGBT Americans.
AOC is just repeating shit you heard on MSNBC.
Way too far in the state of Florida, and I think that they are a profound political miscalculation and an overcompensation. He may be trying to win a base, but that base belongs to Donald Trump, and he has sacrificed. I think
I'm gonna let keep playing, but you gotta see how comfortable she is talking about this unnecessary red blue nonsense compared to anything of substance.
Yes.
Now she's not, no. That's like, this red blue shit. Oh, just watching Rachel Maddow break this shit down. I had this part memorized.
Yeah, she's stuttering on the David Sirota show when he asked her about the strike breaking and stuff. Yep. She's stuttering over there, but when it comes to this part, it flows. But yeah, let's listen. Let's watch a little bit more, and then we can we can end it if you want. Yeah.
Others may have thought would make him competitive.
Only 2 minutes.
Which is this idea that he would somehow be more rational than Donald Trump, which he isn't.
Now, you're very familiar with surprising people and winning a primary. Mm-hmm. Is there anyone in the Republican field, you would disagree with them completely on policy issues, but that you think maybe they have something, or maybe they could take on Trump? It is early in the process.
I think in the House, I see the dynamics and the political dynamics in the House very often mirror some of the political dynamics happening out in the country. And I think
I'm going to MSNBC and talk about no left shit, no Medicare fraud, nothing.
Yeah, what is this
nonsense? I'm just letting this play because this filler, just so you guys see what happens.
Even
but it's only 2 minutes left. I was letting it play.
And so, to be honest, I don't, because the individuals that have wanted to appeal to people's cooler senses in the party have all been driven out. Every Republican who voted for impeachment is
no longer there.
And so I really struggle to find anybody that can both accomplish that task and unite their party.
So you have developed this reputation. I don't know if you like this or not, as a firebrand. What do people get wrong about you or not know about you?
Bro, you see how Jen Psaki is doing PR AOC in this interview? I know some people say you're kind of a firebrand. Some people say you didn't do it, Malcolm X. Any comment? All right, I'll let it play. Oh my God, Jesus fucking Christ. We almost done, guys.
And unite their party.
So you have developed this reputation. I don't know if you like this or not, as a firebrand.
Yeah.
What do people get wrong about you or not know about you?
I think very often when I meet with colleagues or individuals that I had not met with before, they are surprised that I do my homework a lot. I know when I had my first hearing.
Are you a little nerdy and people don't know this?
Oh, no, absolutely. A little.
A little.
No,
Look at this propaganda nonsense. So, if you guys didn't catch it, because I kept interrupting, Jen Psaki said, what is one thing that people don't or misunderstood about you? So AOC was like, people don't understand how smart I am. CJ, imagine someone, can you imagine the arrogance? What is one thing, Nick, that people don't know about you? One thing people don't know about me is that they don't really understand how fucking smart I am. People don't understand the grind I have, man. That's what AOC said here. And these people are they have so much narcissism, they don't even realize what they're doing to ordinary people. Because to me, that's an extremely narcissistic answer.
Nick, how can this be true that she does her homework and then speak to Ryan Grimm and say, you have to give me some leeway because I'm new at this, my bad. Like, like, how is both of these true? How are both of these true that people are surprised that you show up and know your homework and your firebrand? And I think, Nick, when the question, because I just realized this, we were looking at it as us, and we have to look at this interview as Jen Psaki is interviewing this person for the ruling class.
Yes.
So when she says firebrand, to us, no. But to Morning Joe's audience, yes. Especially considering the propaganda that they say from the right side. You know, they call her everything from Stalin to Karl Marx on Fox News. So if you're believing that, then yeah, she's a firebrand by saying Medicare for all. If you think that the peasants deserve that by even mentioning it, even though you're not going to fight for it, that's a firebrand. So if you look at it from that perspective, according
to them, AOC might as well be Claire Daly. AOC might as well be Xi Jinping, according to these fucking wine-sipping wine moms. But this part is so gold to me. What do people don't understand about you? People don't know that I'm very smart and I'm humble. Imagine saying this shit in an interview, man. I'll play this part again.
I think
I want you guys to hear the question.
So you have developed this reputation. I don't know if you like this or not, as a firebrand.
Yeah.
What do people get wrong about you?
What do people
not know about you?
I think very often when I meet with colleagues or individuals that I had not met with before, they are surprised that I do my homework a lot.
What do people get wrong about you? People don't know how smart I am. People don't know about my grind, son. That's her answer. So ridiculous. Anyway, we almost done it. I'll let this interview is so ridiculous.
I had my first hearing.
Are you a little nerdy and people don't know this?
Oh, no, absolutely a little. No, I think
look how comfortable
it's like when I had my first hearing with Michael Cohen, people were surprised that I tried to ask substantive questions. But I think that there is this idea that you somehow can't both be an effective communicator and discuss and challenge the bounds of our political imagination on substantive grounds.
She's not talking about
I think
she's not talking about movement.
We should do
this is how awesome I am.
So I know you're not going to talk about 10 to 15 years from now. I don't know what I'm doing 10 to 15 years from now. But in 5 years, are you going to be in Congress?
I mean, maybe. You know, I think I've always tried to approach my service in a way of what really I think would be best for people. And if it would be best for me to continue my service.
I'm sorry, TJ. This is torture. We're almost done.
I will.
This is terrible.
If it's best for me to continue my service in a different form, then I hope to do that
like
as
in
well.
the Senate, for example.
Like in the Senate.
Well, that's
where
the
richest members are.
She got the POC lab now down to
before
perfect.
I ever even thought about being in Congress, I've always been passionate about teaching and writing, and so maybe I would have been a teacher.
No, you never know. Life
you never
is long.
know. Exactly.
She's like, bro, you never know. You might still get that. You still might get that job at a elite academia as payoff for being a servant to the managerial class. Where do Hillary Clinton teach at right now? Hillary Clinton teaches somewhere. You guys know that's another way. That's another way they get. That's another payoff, by the way, guys. They get some person who's not qualified to be a college professor. They're like, oh, this guy was a foreign policy. He was Secretary of State. He's gonna teach you foreign policy bullshit. That's a payoff. That's corruption.
And you get these. And you get these positions so that other places can invite you and say this person is from this school. It's all like to make it appear like it's worthy of what she's getting. It's ridiculous.
But in Jen Psaki, once again, this is how I read it. She's like, AOC, you never know, man. On the track you're going right now, you're gonna get rewarded. You never know. You might get that teacher job. What's your dream? That's what they tell you. They're like, what's your dream? I want to be a teacher one day. That's definitely possible. There's an opening at Columbia. All I gotta do is put in the word. All I gotta do is vote for this Ukraine war. It'd be a shame if you vote against the Ukraine war and all of a sudden these teaching opportunities go away. Imagine if you're someone like, man, I like basketball. Like, man, we got the job for you. When you lose, if you lose, you could be a coach at a D1 NCAA school. You can be an offensive coordinator. Bro, I'm sure they got all these damn tricks. Anyway, that's AOC state media interview with Jen Psaki. The walk around interview is extremely cringe. Just like when she quickly
the walk around interview.
Just like when she essentially called for censorship of corporate media based on inciting violence. Oh, these people are inciting violence. Very vague, shit-libby way to justify censorship and authoritarianism.